Artur Beterbiev on paper has beaten Bivol. He hasn't. He has not. Bivol should have won that fight. I think Bivol was pretty hard done by there, if I'm being completely honest with you. I think Bivol was pretty hard done by. How a judge can have that 116 to 112 to Artur Beterbiev, I don't know, other than it was a pre-written scorecard. Bivol won that fight, in my opinion. He did. And in most people's opinion, Dmitry Bivol won that fight. Artur Beterbiev did not win that fight. How can you have 8 rounds to Artur Beterbiev? How? How can you have 8 rounds to Artur Beterbiev? It was either a Dmitry Bivol win or it was a draw at the worst. But I think Bivol probably could have won that fight 8-4, possibly. I had it 7-5 to Bivol, but Beterbiev definitely didn't win that fight, no. Beterbiev did not win that fight. It was a draw or a Bivol win. Simple as that. Beterbiev could not fully pin Bivol down. And what people did not notice about that fight, what people didn't notice is how many shots that Bivol took on the gloves. Bivol took so many shots on the gloves and his counters were really good. And at times, Bivol came out with some good, unpredictable, explosive moments and throwing some good combinations. That's what people also didn't take into account. Seemed like at times Beterbiev was throwing a few sloppy shots. Beterbiev definitely landed the harder shots out of the two. But, I thought Bivol landed clean more, though. Lots of Beterbiev shots, Bivol was just able to take on the gloves. Tucked up well and took them on the gloves well. Then came back with some good, sharp, sneaky counters. And that caught Beterbiev off guard. Bivol's movement was good. Beterbiev could not fully pin Bivol down. Possibly apart from the last 2 rounds where Beterbiev was getting some decent success. Other than that, Bivol's movement was good. And, he's throwing some good overall good single shots, and Beterbiev couldn't land a load of combinations on Bivol. He couldn't pin Bivol down and land some big combos. Bivol was boxing and moving well. The jab of Bivol was good. Body work from Bivol was good. Beterbiev couldn't keep him off him. But Bivol's work with the jab was very clean. Bivol's work with the lead hook was clean. Bivol's counters were clean. They were there to be seen. Bivol did not lose that fight, man. He did not lose that fight. I think he was pretty hard done by, if I'm being real. It was a draw at the worst for Bivol. Beterbiev just didn't do enough to pin Bivol down. He didn't land as flush as what people think he did. Bivol took so many shots on the gloves. And yes, Beterbiev was centering quite a bit of the time in that fight. But Bivol's work on the back foot was class, though. Bivol's work on the back foot was class. Then at times he came at Beterbiev with some good, unpredictable, quick shots to the body. Bivol was really quick with his work and very smart with his moments. Beterbiev was good at standing his ground. Yes, he was. And, he came at Bivol with some decent ones and, did land some decent ones through the gloves. But a lot of them were just hit on the gloves of Dmitry Bivol. Bivol took them well and his movement was good and forced Beterbiev to miss quite a bit. And, Bivol's movement took a lot of power out of Beterbiev's shots. So it's like Bivol looked like the way better boxer in that fight, in my opinion. Bivol looked like the way better boxer in that fight. Bivol was just able to keep Beterbiev at bay with that lead hand quite well, in my opinion. Bivol was doing well with that lead hand and was able to, and was good with the jab. And I think Bivol was definitely more accurate with the jab than what Beterbiev was. Bivol was countering the jab of Beterbiev quite well as well with his longer range. So, look, I'm going to go through how I scored the fight. So, round 1, Bivol. Round 2, Bivol. Round 3, Bivol. Round 4, Bivol. Round 5, Beterbiev. Round 6, Bivol. Round 7, Bivol. Round 8, Beterbiev. Round 9, Bivol. Round 10, Beterbiev. Round 11, Beterbiev. Round 12, Beterbiev. 115, 113, Bivol. But that could be 8-4 to Bivol. So that could be 116, 112 to Bivol. When you hear that 116 to 112 card, who are you thinking it goes to? People have had Beterbiev winning. Who are you thinking that a 116, 112 card goes to? You still think that goes to Bivol. Even if you had Beterbiev winning, a 116, 112 card still makes more sense for Dmitry Bivol. Even if you had Artur Beterbiev winning, 116-112 makes much more sense for Bivol. There's an argument for 116 to 112 to Bivol. There's no argument 116-112 to Artur Beterbiev. It's a pre-written scorecard. It is. I just feel like it was kind of that. It's just like the judges kind of wanted Beterbiev to win, and that they were always going to be on Beterbiev's side anyway. That's the thing. That is the thing. And it's like, as well, what people score is people like to tend to score the more aggressive guy who's coming forward. People don't take into account the defense of the guy on the back foot. And people don't take into account the good, sweet science of boxing from the boxer on the back foot. That is what some people do not take into account. And yeah, that's happened today. That has happened today. People have not taken into account how many shots on the gloves that Bivol took, the movements of Bivol, and the weight of shots that he took out of Beterbiev. And Bivol came back at times with some good big shots to the body with his quick combinations. That's what Bivol did at times, especially earlier on in that fight, early mid rounds. Yes, later on, I will admit, Bivol should have done more in those later rounds. He should have done more in those later rounds. But Beterbiev was better at being able to take over in those later rounds. But Beterbiev still lost the fight. Bivol did enough in those mid and early rounds to be able to seal that fight. He did. He did. That's the thing. He did. It's just unfortunate. I think Bivol, definitely lost the last three. But other than that, I thought Bivol was good at, boxing well on that back foot. And at times in the fight as well, early on, like first 4 rounds, Bivol was good on the front foot in those first 4 as well. So, it's... and Beterbiev was walking into shots so much from Bivol. Bivol was able to catch Beterbiev off guard when Beterbiev was walking into shots. And at times as well, late on, it did happen as well. Beterbiev was still walking onto shots. Mid-rounds especially, that is when Beterbiev was walking onto shots. So I just don't get the scoring of the card. It's a draw at worst for Bivol. Bivol should have won that one. The better work came from him. The smarter work came from Bivol. That's the thing. He forced Beterbiev to miss a lot. Beterbiev never could pin Bivol down because he couldn't fully land flush too often on Bivol. Bivol's body work was good. People don't take that enough into account. The counters of Bivol, people don't take up enough into account. Yes, especially as the fight went kind of late mid round, Bivol was mostly, able to land some good single shots. People didn't take that enough into account even though Beterbiev was coming at Bivol with some decent combinations, he wasn't always fully landing. Every time Bivol threw some great, straight shots, straight single shots, Bivol was landing on Beterbiev. Beterbiev wasn't showing as good defense as what Bivol was. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's my argument for Dmitry Bivol winning. I think Bivol won the fight. There's got to be a rematch. There's got to be a rematch, in my opinion, 100%. There must be. I think Bivol was slightly hard done by there. He was. I don't think you can score that fight to Beterbiev. Sat the judge who gave it 116 to 112, especially as well. But, yeah, I feel bad for Bivol. I thought he was hard done by there. He made no excuses at the end. But, yeah, most people on social media think that Bivol won because he did win the fight. Bivol won. Anyway, thanks for watching.